guys, it's Amber. So today I'm going to be doing a makeup tutorial and I'm going to be doing my final project palette look, which for this month is using the Jaclyn Morphe palette. With these project palettes, especially with this palette, I know some of you guys don't have this palette, you're not interested in this palette, or you don't like Jaclyn Hill, that's totally fine. But I wanted to show you guys a fun technique that I have been working on for hooded eyes, which is a halo eye. It can be kind of hard and tricky to figure out how to place it right, what's the right way to do it, what are good color combinations to use. So today I did a very colorful one. I hope you guys enjoy it. But even if you don't have this palette, I think this is easily something you could recreate with any colors at all. So thank you for joining me, whether you have this palette or not. For next month, I want to use the Pure Soiree Diaries. I usually do a poll, but I love this so much. I think there's so many fun looks I can do with this. So this is going to be next month's project palette. So let's go ahead and jump on into the tutorial. A lot of you guys have kind of wondered about these colors, how they look on the eye. A lot of people have swatched this thing and it's blue. To me, it is a blue violet. It is purple. It is not blue. When I put it on my eye, it doesn't look blue. I don't know, but in my opinion, it's more of a purple, so we're just gonna go with that. All right, so the idea behind making a halo eye is basically that you have the dark color on the outside, on the inside, and then in the middle it is light. Now I played around with this quite a bit, trying to figure out the right proportions for my eye. Because with a hooded eye, you have very little lid space. So you have two rules of thought. Either you go above your lid and create kind of a false lid effect, or you stick right to your lid and you have very little lid space to work with. So as I played around, I found that what works best for my eye shape is if I go a little bit above my lid where it would kind of fit into where my hood comes over, but not extending above that. I found when I raised it up too much and it was up here on my hood, it just looked kind of silly. It didn't quite work. But when I just raised it up just enough, so when I closed my eyes, you could see the definition of the lighter shade, but when I open my eyes like this, it was kind of hidden. That ended up being the sweet spot for my eyes. Now that's going to be a little bit different. Some people whose eyes aren't as hooded may be able to get away with creating more of a false eyelid effect, especially if you have more of a monolid. Now those of you who have very severely hooded eyes or droopy eyes, you might have to stick more to the actual lid working space. So it's something I encourage you just to play around with and see which placement works best for you. So I'm just using a flat shader brush. This one just happens to be a Morphe brush. Not affiliated with Morphe in any way. I just bought these off Haute Look. Try to stop the light from shining on my face. I'm gonna go in with a quick dusting of a little extra powder just to kind of blend into. And now I'm going into my shade. So I'm starting with that purpley blue violet color, which is Twerk. And I'm just gonna start kind of making a triangle on the outside of my eye, right here. And then just filling it in. The reason why I like to make a triangle shape is because I feel like it helps lift the overall appearance of my eyes, because my eyes tend to be droopy. I feel like whenever I keep the shadows going in an upward direction, it helps defy gravity a little bit. So unfortunately, my camera stopped filming and I didn't realize it until it was a little bit later. But I just took a really tiny brush and did a triangle on the inner corner of my eyes, making sure I didn't go too far in. Because you're going to blend a little bit, you don't want to go too far in or else you're going to get that whole darkness in the inner corner. Depending on how you want it to look, you can close this off a little bit. I just did a tiny bit right here, but you could also leave that completely open. It just depends what you like. So I am going to get a pointed crease brush. I don't want to blow this out too much, but I'm going to softly blend it. Now, if you wanted to, you can put any other color in here. I'm going to actually go into the teal shade called Jada. It's a matte. And I'm just going to barely put this above it, just to kind of have a fun little pop to blend into. If you're not a color person, you definitely can do this with all neutrals. If you guys want to see that, let me know. This is a Sedona Lace EB15. It's one of my favorite brushes. I actually got this in the Vortex kit. So I use this shade right here, and then I'm going to go into a little bit of this shade right here, which is called, this one called MFEO. And just barely do it. The reason why I'm doing this after is because when I'm wanting to build depth, I want to put that transition shade on first, but where I'm not necessarily using colors that are going to coordinate together as far as blending, I don't really want to blend them over the top of another. So if I'm putting down a brown and then I'm putting the teal over it, it's going to muddy it a little bit, versus I want to keep these pigments bright, so I'm actually building it from the bottom up. But I do think it'll give it a little bit of grounding, so it's not totally just out there in the Wild West. All right, now that I've blended that up, I can go through and just kind of hit that purple blue just one more time to intensify it, and then the fun will begin. Especially in those inner outer corners. So now I'm going to take another flat shader brush. Doesn't really matter what, just something nice and easy. I'm going to go into this beautiful shade called Obsessed right there. First I'm just going to go in dry, and then I'm going to wet my brush a little bit, and I'm going to place this in the middle. So I can kind of see when I open my eye, I can't really see it. So that's kind of how I gauge how far up to go, and then over. And it's amazing how just doubling that lid space really makes a cool effect when you close your eyes. It's really important, I found, to keep the lid space bare instead of trying to pop this onto another shade. If I would have put this directly over the purple, it would have looked like a sparkly purple with a little bit of brightness, but it's not going to pop as much as when you leave the lid blank and just kind of fill it in. All right, so now it's where you kind of work a little bit both sides to kind of blend it, because you want the shades to marry together and keep that pop. And you can see just right above, a little bit above where my eye folds, I've just got it up a little higher. Helps with the creasing too, because it's already kind of where it's going to transfer anyway, if you know what I mean. Okay, now I'm going to wet my brush a little bit and then go back into Obsessed. Right on the very middle of the halo, I'm gonna brighten that up a little bit more. So this is one of those looks that can look a little crazy, but once you get the liner and lashes going, it kind of helps marry everything together. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna line my eyes very simply, catch up my other eye, and I'll check back in with you. All right, so I've just got a little bit of liner on. I decided not to go for a wing because I did not want to overtake my lid space and make the halo look a lot shorter. So I just went for a normal thick line. I did line my upper tight line with a gel pencil from Essence, and you can see I just kind of married that purpley blue and the blue together, blending that out. I did add a little bit of this creamsicle shade to the very top just to give it a little bit of that yellow. I think that's a little fun pop right there. But now I'm going to do some in the inner corner. So I'm going to take the very lightest shade, which is called Enlight. I'm going to pop that here in the inner corner. Now, of course, I don't want to do too much because I don't want to lose that darkness. I think it's fun to have a little bit of pop right there in the corner. Then I'm going to take this little AOA Studio brush. This is an F16. This thing's kind of flat and tapered, and I'm going to go into Twerk, which is the purpley blue, and I'm going to put it under the lash line. It helps pop that top lid even more. I think this will really help tie it all together. This is definitely a look that could sustain false lashes, but I think I'm going to not do them because I don't want to cover up everything I've done. because I feel like with my eyes being hooded, sometimes the lashes, if they're too big, they can kind of cover it up. So today I'm just going to go with a natural lash. So if you were doing lashes, I would do something that was maybe more elongated on the ends, or something that was just a smaller lash, just because I wouldn't want to cover up all this pretty halo. But I feel like it still looks balanced when my eyes are open. It doesn't look like I've got like a fake crease going on up here. You just have to find that right balance for your eye shape. So let's finish this off. I'm going to do some studio makeup. I got this in my Boxy charm. I've really liked this blush. I'm going to add a little bit of that to my cheeks. I feel like with the lip, you have to be careful. If you do something that's going to be too pink, you're going to start looking a little Barbie, which if you love that look, you could totally go for that. I just think for me, I don't want to make it look too bubblegummy since I've got so many bright colors already going on. Just blending that blush out. I'm not doing bronzers, just doing a big sweep of this color. For highlight, I'm going to use this really cool color from my Tarteist Pro palette called Stunner. If you saw my highlight video, you know that the Shop Miss A makes a dupe for it. If you haven't seen it, you got to watch it to find out what it is. Very, very pretty. Let me get my highlight brush. I think it'll go well with kind of the purple violet vibe. And just for fun, I'm going to pop some of this on my brow bone. I don't normally do that, but I'm going to just do a tiny bit right here where it's higher up, just since it's a night out look, kind of an extra little bit of dazzle there. If you do shimmer up there, kind of have to make it high, because if you put it down right here, it can kind of emphasize the hood, which we don't really want to do. So you got to just keep it high. All right, lip color, lip color, lip color. All right, I think I'm going to try this color I got in my Boxy charm. This is the color Strip. This is an ultra satin lip. All right, let me finish up my hair and I'll be right back. All right, here is the finished look now that I've got my bangs all fixed. But I think this is a really fun look for a night out because, you know, it doesn't look like it's so much going on, and then you close your eyes and it's like, whoa. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.